we always remember that. It's only for your information. We need not even tell the students. When they are doing, if we talk about it, it's more than enough. Okay? Like from when to, how we should face and how we should start, those informations only are there in the principles of bandaging. Okay? And the principles of bandaging is important, assessment is important, and assessment is already there in our book. There is nothing more than that. Okay? And so principles I want to tell you. When you want to do bandage for a person, face that person. Okay? Facing the person is very important. And then always start from distal to proximal. We never do bandaging from this side to this side. So that is another one. Then always inner to outer. That means medial to lateral. But in videos, I see they follow, they don't follow all these things, but this is from first aid books. We will teach, but if it's done the other way also, bandage is a bandage. I don't know why they have made all these rules. I agree with distal to proximal, but I don't know why it should be from inner to outer and those things and all. Okay? And then always start and end with 2 circular turns. Though we know circular turns is also one of the bandaging technique, we don't use it as a separate technique. Circular turns are always for starting and ending a bandage. Okay? And overlapping. Okay? Whenever you want to go to the next turn, it should cover previous 2/3. Okay, see, when I am doing this turn, when I go to the next turn, previous 2/3 of that turn should be covered. So that is another principle. And as much as possible, leave the fingertips and toes open, because we want to check for the circulation. Okay, because bandaging can be sometimes too tight. It can compromise circulation for the patient. So this is very important. And that's all. This is what I understand. Then if there is a wound, for example, if we have a wound and we are going to bandage around this wound, always 2 inches start from beyond the wound and finish it 2 inches after the wound. Okay, these are some things which we should know. Then it should be, if it is a, for example, diabetic wounds, most of them have it in the foot. So it will follow a sterile dressing procedures. You will do a sterile dressing, then you will start with figure of 8 bandaging. Okay, so you will be wearing sterile gloves and follow all those procedures are important. Even if there is any open wound, you can never put a bandage directly over that. You have to apply some gauze piece or some Mapor dressing, then only you can bandage it over that. Okay, these are all some of the principles. I'll send this for 2 pages alone to you. Then what are some of the assessments? You need to assess that area already if there are any swelling. If we are going to make it tight, we are going to increase the swelling. Okay, say for example, what I mean is the edema because of the wound. If it is sprain, such swellings, we are putting it to reduce the swelling only. Okay, so you understand what I am trying to say. But you assess that area, any open wound or swelling, any drainage, any oozing is there from the wound. So all that should be corrected, then only we are going to do the bandage. Then, as I said, open wounds, drainage, then if there is any pain, okay, if patient has severe pain, like sprain and all that, they will have pain, they will have swelling, and we are going to put the bandages to reduce those things only. Okay, and sometimes you should assess the ability of the patient to assess the bandage. Okay, you have applied. Ideally, you are supposed to remove it for every 8 hours and redo it again, because to relieve pressure. But teach that to the patient also. In case if you feel that it's becoming blue in color or you have some abnormal feeling, before that 8 hours, patient should be able to call us so that we will go and check on it. And then wear gloves if you feel that there is a wound, or if the person is infected, you wear gloves, you are allowed to wear. Okay, so these are some assessments which we do, and other than that, okay, directly we go to the procedure. I'm not wearing gloves now because it is okay. Bandages are of different sizes, but when we want to do in the hands, these, I think it is 2 inches maybe. These smaller ones are good, 2 inches ones are good, and for ankle and other things we will be using this. And we don't use only for practice for the students, because as I said, when you want to do different turns, the previous 2/3 should be covered, isn't it? So it is easy for them to understand if these lines are there. But in the real situation, you don't find all these lines. This is only for their practice that these bandages are there. And these bandages are gauze bandages. Sometimes these are very good when you want to do for recurrent bandaging of the head. I like this better than this. Okay, so sometimes you don't need lot of elasticity. You try to use these bandages. Okay, and what are the other things we have? These are slings. We will be seeing about triangular slings also. Triangular slings are used for many parts of the body, but we will be doing only the shoulder and arm together. Arm sling separate, the wrist sling separate, and all is there. We are not confusing our students with all of that. Our aim is not full first aid, only introducing them to the bandages. So only one of this we will show them. Okay, we'll start with it. There are some which are Dr. Leo will do actually nicely, better than me. Reverse spiral. He does reverse spiral nicely. Anyway, I'll try. If not, he will do. I'll just put one dressing over here, because I cannot do it on a wound which is open. So in the arms, the cylindrical portion of your body, in the arms and legs, we usually do spiral, circular, reverse spiral. Okay. So circular is not a separate turn at all. Please don't introduce that to the students also, because the procedure will say that there is a bandages called circular. Don't go with that. Okay. Circular is to start and end any bandaging technique. Okay. So I'm going to start with spiral. Spiral is you just holding also. They should not hold like this. It should be always opening like this. Okay, there is a technique to hold also, but if we don't do this, I don't know whether any problem is there, but these are some of the techniques. Yes. Okay, and as I said, face the person, start from distal to proximal and inner to outer, medial to lateral. Okay, and because there is a wound here, start little away from the wound and end beyond the wound. So I am starting with the circular, 2 circular turns. It should not be too tight or too loose also, then it doesn't serve the purpose. Okay, circular is over. Now, if I take an angle of 30 degree, that is spiral. Okay, this is what I said. You have to cover 2/3 of the previous one. So when these lines are there, they can understand it very well.
Yeah, with the lines.
That's all. Okay, so you keep doing it. So we are doing now spiral turn. Always they should start with circular. Okay, almost I have covered the wound. Yeah, then finish it with 2 circular. Correct, the bandage will be. Okay, usually we put the
Actually,
we put the micro tape. Okay, but if you want to reuse it, this is not useful because all the thread will come off.
The pin will be there too. Elastic pin will be
they have
there,
not
so
kept it here. Actually, that's a very good option, but we don't have it here.
But some bandages are not coming with it.
Yes.
Yeah, sometimes it doesn't come with it.
You know, when we are removing, okay, we will remove in a hurry like that, but please teach the students when they remove to hold it in their hands like this, not to leave it like that. They can roll it later, no problem, but they should not hang it down because it was on another person's hand. Okay, roll it. They have to roll because we have very few bandages. Okay, reverse spiral. Leo, you want to roll?
But in the hospital we don't roll. No?
What is that?
In the hospital we roll.
Hospital we use these bandages, gauze bandages, most of the time, and it is used and we throw it. We don't use it again because it's for diabetic wound and other things. Okay, reverse spiral I will try. So start again with circular. Okay, take one same like spiral. Okay, go like this and you will have to bend it like this. Okay, Right, I'll come to it. So you will go like this and bend it like this. Okay?
Only where the wound is.
No, we'll
Any
go
Rasan
beyond
have
that
to do
also.
this?
No, only thing is it will hold better than the other one. The dressing will be held in a little more. He does it beautifully than me. Spiral, reverse spiral alone.
Is the art.
Actually, it should go straight.
same
like
line,
that.
yeah.
Same
Yeah.
line. Okay, that is what is very important over here.
I
Anyway,
think
I'll
to
ask him also.
thicken the area of the.
Yeah, yeah.
wound.
Actually, to
thickens the-
hold the dressing in
Yeah.
place, that's all. Again, finish it with
Two
Two
circles.
circles.
okay, it should come like this. Leo, you want to do one, Leo? Mine is not very good
Nice with the lines. It will
because
show.
they will learn from you, no?
I don't know if I still remember. Yeah, just hold that one. Okay, 2 circular turns.
One,
1, 2. Then when you reach there, okay, fold it like that.
See, he is folding in a different way. This will be a little beautiful.
And then go up. See? And then turn it like that again.
Okay.
And
Just
then,
higher.
see? There should be a similar
Yes.
Should.
spaces.
Just if they do carefully, you can see some students doing better than us.
Yes.
They do it nicely.
Okay.
Just teach them the technique. They will
Like
learn.
that. And then you go higher.
Yeah,
This
it
is-
goes like that.
4 years of doing this.
Same for the cylindrical portion, but only thing is this holds better than, and also it looks beautiful. That's all. Okay. We'll go on to the legs. Any patient? Yeah, figure of 8 type. And these procedures we will be asking in the exam. So they have to learn. These are exam procedures.
Thai exam procedure?
Yeah.
Really?
But they will do well. They actually get full marks in this. Very easy. Only some people will not do it in a beautiful way, and we have to reduce for that. Other than that, it's very easy. So they will start with the assessment, swelling or anything is there, and all that they will see, and go ahead with the procedure. Okay. If it is for the ankle, if there are some sprains, they say the medial portion ligaments are very weak than the I think they are called deltoid ligaments or something. Yeah, I'm not very sure. Calcaneum, this is deltoid. So I don't know why deltoid muscle is here, but they call the ligament here. I'm not sure about that. So most of the time it is this portion. And there are two ways of putting figure of 8. One is leaving the ankle joint free, okay, for them to have little movement just to reduce the swelling. Another one, you don't want any movement because as they move, the ligament tear can be worsened. So you want to control even movement. So you will cover the joints also. Okay, so two ways are there. I prefer the way of covering the joints also. But some of the videos in the YouTube, you will find both the techniques. Okay, so let me stand here. Okay, start with 2 circular. That should be here, and then you have to go up. Okay, and take it out like this. This design should come. Okay, you will either get it here or here, and then you see where is our previous turn. Okay, and cover 2/3 of that.
and be one
Okay.
cut.
Then come again like this. You will have to check and come. See, it should come correctly like this. Okay, so next one will be this one I'm covering. Okay, I go up like that.
The position of the foot.
It should be little flexed. Okay, because that is a normal anatomical movement. So we don't leave it like this.
Yeah.
It is mildly flexed. Okay. I think we can because we have covered the joints and everything. So 2 circular on the top. You start over here 2 circular, finish over here. Okay, this is figure of 8. This pattern they should get it when they are doing it. Okay, and as I said, sometimes they allow for joint movement, sometimes they don't allow it. And the same can be done in the elbow also. Again, mild flexion will be done. You start from one end, go behind, same like how I did. We can do it for the elbow. They do it for the knees also they do. So figure of 8 is for elbow joint, knee joint and ankle joint. Okay, they can do for all these areas. And this is very important after they do for hands or especially legs. Circulation can be compromised, so they need to leave the toes. They need to check for 5 P's if they can remember. Pulse, okay, paresthesia, that is the sensation, the pins and needles sensation, and pallor if there is any color change. Temperature they have to check. What else is there? Pale I said. Pale I said. Pain. So all 5 P's they have to check. Okay, and if it is too tight or too loose, they need to check. They need to come and remove it for every 6 to 8 hours and change it. These information they should tell us in the exam also. What they will do, what assessment they will do in the beginning, what instructions or what assessment they will do after doing the procedure also. Okay, we'll do for the head. Shall I do it on one of you if you allow me?
Yep.
No problem. No, he's like my brother only. No problem. Yeah.
Let him see. And then I'll take photo.
Sometimes we need help of another person, but you try to do by yourself as much as possible. See, when we use this elastic ones, you need help of another person, because when you are pulling, the other side it will come. That's why I said I prefer this gauze bandages. Okay, but we may not have enough, and also one time you use, after that you will find all thread coming. That is the problem with this bandages. Okay. Okay. So this is called recurrent bandages. Okay, in 2 places they are going to learn. You will find for dressing they have. I'll ask them to keep that mannequin. Okay, for dressing some small mannequins are there. In that we have a stump also for the people who are undergoing amputation, below knee amputation, above knee amputation. This recurrent bandages are taught to the patient to do at home, because there can be lymphedema, there can be bleeding. So to avoid all these things, they are taught to do this bandage at home, recurrent bandage. So our students also should know about it. So recurrent bandages, we can either do it on the head, or this is for the stump. This is one NCLEX advanced question. Very often they ask this question. Okay, recurrent bandages are used for the stump after amputation. Okay, so I need 2, but let me start with 1. Then you see how I am joining the second one also. Same, we start with 2 circular. Okay, once you finish 2 circular, okay, here if you can see it will be better. See here I just turn my bandage. You see how I am turning, and my hand should be here when I turn. Yes. If I cannot hold, I can ask the help of other person, no problem. Okay, so I bring it in the middle, then one by one I'm going to cover one side and the other side. Okay, you can, if you want, you can do 1, 2, 3, 4, or finish this side, come to the other side. I prefer to finish one side. Definitely I will need another bandage, then I'll come to the other side. Okay.
And you need him.
Yeah, if somebody can hold, it will come out well. Okay, so you fold it here also like that. Remember to cover
2/3.
2/3. That is the principle. Okay. It should, at the end, there should be the Omani cap which is coming. What do you call that?
This will be so
Kumma.
neat.
Correct.
One of these ideas.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I know it will not be enough for covering. Let me try. If it is enough, I can start with the other side also.
كيف الشكل طالع؟
حد yeah.
Okay. Then keep folding it towards the back. Yeah, it's enough, I think, for his head.
Your head is small.
He
Small head.
reduced his weight by doing lot
Keeping
of
the head?
exercises. Head
Even
also
the
almost
head exercise, special exercise there.
Yeah.
Becomes slimmer.
no, almost enough. But actually, I should finish it with two circular turns. Okay. In case if you feel that it is okay, for example, when I was doing half of it and the bandage got over, okay, don't start with the turns directly. When you are adding a new bandage, take at least one circular turn. Otherwise, it will not stand. That's why I'm saying. Okay, two is better, but at least one you take circular turn and then continue to do that. Okay, so you can put a pin over here. See the folds, whatever we did with the circular turn, it should be covered. See here also it should be covered. Yeah. So when you are removing, shall I remove? It should actually it should stand like a cap. If I would have used two, no, it would have come well. Okay. So let them cover 2/3, and it should be done like this. Okay. Same thing should be done on the stump also. Thank you. Same thing should be done on the stump also. So they start with circular above. See if the stump is here. They start with circular above, then keep going underneath, up and down like that they come. Finally end with the circular, so that it doesn't come out.
So it covers the upside, downside now.
No, it will. It should go underneath only and
Okay.
yes. Okay, so you can make them practice that also. Okay, these I need you. Okay, this comes with the pin also. Okay, the triangular bandages, or you call it a sling, they come with the pin also. We will be using the pins, which are very important. And before I go on to that, I want to introduce something called reef knot to you. I think they use this reef knot in the army, so they want us to, whenever we use this arm slings, we are supposed to use only that knot. The way I know, I will teach you. There are many ways of putting a reef knot. The use of the reef knot is it never gets tightened. So anytime you want to remove, it's too much for you, it is easy for you to remove, that's all. Okay, how I have learned is, make one knot, okay, then repeat the same process again. You will get the reef knot. Okay, you will find knot like this. It will never be tightened. It holds, but it's easy for you to remove. Whenever you want to remove, you can just remove it. That is what is called reef knot. So whenever we are going to tie this on a person, we are supposed to use that reef knot. Okay, introduce that to your students and tell them also. Okay, make one knot, same direction to the next knot also. That's all. So left, in book if you read, left over right, right over left, and so many confusions will be there. That's why I'm saying this is the easiest way. See, it will never get tightened at all. And teach them, it has two portions, apex and base, because it's a triangle. Okay, we are going to teach them with that only. The base will be kept on the shoulder. The apex will be on the elbow. Like that only we are going to teach. So this is base, this is apex. And if this person has got injury of the right shoulders, okay, shoulders, and mainly we are going to show them. Hands means it's a separate way. Only the hand they will be putting. So we are not going to such details of those procedures. Okay, imagine he has some injury on the right shoulder. How his hand should be kept is, he has to keep it in little 30-degree flexion. Okay, not more than that. And then don't allow him to move his hands in any way. Don't disturb the person. But the base should be always on the opposite shoulders. If he has injury of this shoulder, you put the base on the opposite shoulder. Okay, so put it underneath and go like this. Okay, later we can correct it. Where this apex should come, it should come near his elbow. Okay, and his hand should be, they are saying even fingers also should be inside that. It should not be seen outside. You cannot leave the hand like that and only till here. No, it should be covered. Okay, then this portion you take it. Okay, the shoulders where we put the base opposite side. That means on the injured side only you should tie the knot also. You are clear what I am saying? These are some important instructions. So put the base on the opposite shoulders and not on the injured side itself. So you pull it as much as you need and bring this also, adjust according to the size of the person, and then here you have to put that reef knot. Okay, so however you want you can put. Reef knot is how I have learned, I will do it. Okay, put the reef knot here and then see that you are adjusting and putting the safety pin here, just for it to look neat, and he will not remove his hand outside. Sometimes they show even like this also they show. Okay, you can, but it will not stand for a long time, so they put a pin, and here also they can adjust and put a pin, so that the patient will not take out the hand. This is only till you take the patient to the hospital to do further management. And there are some commercial slings which are available. Okay, this is different from that. Those commercial slings, even for 6 weeks they will ask the patient to use. So just to support till that ligament is healing. Okay, so they will be using it even for 6 weeks. So when they are taking bath, they can remove and keep, and all those things are allowed when they are using that sling. This one, you know there is some injury, you want to shift the person to the hospital, till then you are putting this. So they should not take out the hand, they should not move as they like. You understand what I am saying? Okay, so then some hands separately it's different, wrist separately different, and even for the hip also they can use this. But I am not very sure about that, and we don't need it for our students also. There is one which we can do with this for the head. Actually that is not for stopping the bleeding or anything. Usually when they are giving, what is that? For the lice, they give treatment, pediculosis, that word I did not get. Pediculosis treatment when they are giving, after applying the medications in the hospital setting I am saying, they will put this same sling they take, they put it and tie it around the head of the person, so that the lice will not run here and there. No, this is a real situation when the patients are there in the hospital for 2 months, 3 months. All these are very common. If you want me to show, I will show you. This head sling also, okay, I put, okay. See, you make one small fold here. I'll tell you why we are putting it, okay. One fold here, and then it should cover like this, okay. And see, females will have the hair like that, no? So it is easy for us to take it around that, okay. There is the apex will be down, okay, but you will take it around, and to one side you do that reef knot, and after that this area you will push the knot inside this. You understand what I am saying? Okay, so just to make an aesthetic look, that's why we folded this, and this just adjust it. You want me to do it correctly? Wait, I did not put the knot. Always reef knot, remember. Our patient is enjoying. Okay, ideally
Taking selfie.
this should go inside here. Yeah. This also should be folded nicely, and it can be, you can put a pin if you need, and put it all inside. Okay, this is how we do it. This is head sling. So head sling, arm sling, if you can teach your students, that's good.
Back also you want, you can take. He'll go like that.
When keep it on his head, and then the people will think you have kilos, and they will go.
And but they are saying sometimes if they suspect some fracture of the skull after head injury, they do transport also. I have heard them using this, but there are so many other variations also in the head when you want to protect it from fracture and other things. No? I have seen some bun-like thing, one bandage is there. Then they are putting that in that area wherever they are suspecting the injury, and then around that they are tying something. So, but this is basic in army and all that. First aid, what they are teaching is this, and he is going to be an expert. They are making videos and books and all that. So maybe they'll come up with many of these things. Okay, that's all. If I have to teach, and remember to tell them about the post care. Those 5 P's, and removing and putting it again, asking the patient whether they are comfortable, is it too tight or too loose, those things are important. Any doubts? As we are doing, we will remember. If you want